Chosen ones, I invite you to tune in and open your hearts. What I have to share is a sacred truth meant for those who understand their divine purpose. If you feel a stirring within, know that you're not here by chance. Let's explore together the insights that will illuminate your journey ahead. It's time. This message signifies the beginning of the greatest chapter of your life, and not just in an ordinary sense, but in the highest spiritual calling you've ever received. For so long, you may have felt a deep sense of waiting, a restlessness in your spirit that something extraordinary was on the horizon. Well, chosen one, the wait is over. The door to your greatest life has been unlocked, and what lies beyond it is more significant than you ever imagined. But here's the question: are you ready? Truly ready to embrace what this season holds for you? This isn't just about moving forward. It's about aligning yourself with the divine purpose you were set apart for. The life that is unfolding for you requires preparation, faith, and boldness. The path forward will be illuminated, but you must step forward with confidence and certainty in your calling. In the moments ahead, we will explore what makes this time so significant and how you can position yourself to receive the abundance and transformation that awaits. If you have been guided to this channel, it's not by accident. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become a part of the official Kingdom Calls family so you never miss the divine wisdom meant to uplift and guide you on your sacred path. As we continue to explore the profound journey set before you, it's important to reflect on the spiritual theme that is at the heart of this message. This is not a casual journey you are on. It is a divine calling that requires your full attention, dedication, and heart. God has orchestrated every moment leading up to this point, and now He is inviting you to step fully into the life He has prepared for you. But with this invitation comes a crucial spiritual challenge, one that every chosen one must face: the challenge of trusting the timing and process of God's divine plan. Throughout your life, you may have felt a tug in your spirit, a sense of being set apart for something greater. There may have been moments where you saw glimpses of the life God has prepared for you, moments where you were filled with excitement and anticipation for the future. Yet, there have likely also been moments where you doubted, where you questioned whether that future would ever materialize or if you were even worthy of such a calling. The emotional weight of these doubts can be overwhelming, and it's precisely this inner tension that we must address in this part of your journey. One of the greatest challenges that chosen ones face is learning to trust God's timing in the unfolding of their divine purpose. The world often pushes us to seek immediate results, to chase success, and to measure our worth by external achievements. However, God's ways are not the ways of the world. His timing is perfect, but it often looks different from what we expect. Sometimes the waiting period feels unbearably long. You may feel as though you are wandering through a desert, wondering when you will finally reach the promised land. Yet, it is in these moments of waiting that God is doing His greatest work within you. In Scripture, we see countless examples of individuals who had to wait for the fulfillment of God's promises. Think of Abraham, who was promised a son, or Joseph, who was given dreams of greatness. Both had to endure long periods of waiting, where it seemed as though nothing was happening. But in reality, everything was happening, because God was preparing them, shaping them, and refining their faith. The waiting wasn't a sign of abandonment. It was a sign of preparation. In your own life, you may find yourself in a season where God seems silent, or where progress seems slow. But chosen ones, understand this: God's silence is not a sign of His absence. It is a part of the process He is using to prepare you for the next chapter. In these quiet moments, God is working on your heart, building your faith, and removing anything that could hinder you from stepping into the fullness of your calling. He is teaching you to trust Him, even when you can't see the full picture. This trust, however, isn't always easy. There will be times when the enemy tries to sow seeds of doubt in your heart, making you question whether God's promises will truly come to pass. The enemy knows that if he can get you to doubt, he can cause you to hesitate, to retreat, or to even turn away from your calling altogether. This is why it's so important to stay anchored in God's word and his promises during these moments of uncertainty. Psalm 27:14 reminds us, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage." Wait for the Lord. This verse speaks directly to the challenge of trusting in God's timing. It acknowledges that waiting requires strength and courage. It's not passive, but an active engagement with faith. As a chosen one, you are not called to passively wait in frustration or despair. Instead, you are called to wait with expectation, knowing that God is faithful and that his promises are sure. One of the most powerful things you can do during this time is to shift your perspective on waiting. Instead of viewing it as a delay or a setback, recognize it as a divine pause, a time of preparation that is necessary for your growth. God isn't just concerned with the destination, he is deeply invested in your journey. Every challenge, every lesson, and every season of waiting is designed to draw you closer to him, to deepen your faith, and to equip you for the work he has called you to do. The waiting period is also a time of pruning and refining. Just as a gardener prunes a vine to make it more fruitful, God sometimes removes things from our lives that may be hindering our growth. This pruning process can be painful, whether it's the loss of relationships, opportunities, or certain comforts, but it is necessary for your spiritual growth. John 15:2 tells us, "Every branch in me that does not bear fruit he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit." This is a reminder that God's pruning is not punishment, it's preparation for greater fruitfulness. During this time, you may also face the challenge of surrendering control. As humans, we naturally want to control the outcomes of our lives. We want to know the details of how and when things will happen. But chosen ones, God is asking you to surrender that control to him. He is asking you to trust that his ways are higher than your ways and that he knows what is best for you, even when it doesn't align with your timeline or expectations. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting God to lead the way. It means releasing your grip on how you think things should go and allowing God to direct your steps. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths." This is a call to trust that even when things don't make sense, God is still in control and is working all things together for your good. Chosen ones, this is your time. The season you are entering is a sacred one, and it will require you to walk by faith, not by sight. The path ahead may be uncertain, but God's presence is guaranteed. He is with you in every step, every decision, and every challenge. He has not brought you this far to leave you. His plans for your life are unfolding, and though you may not see the full picture yet, trust that he is preparing something far greater than you can imagine. Your greatest life is beginning, not because everything is falling into place at once, but because you are stepping into alignment with God's divine plan for you. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward with the confidence that God is guiding your every step. God has been preparing you, often in ways that may have seemed unclear or even uncomfortable. Every challenge, every moment of waiting, and every victory has served as a piece of the intricate puzzle that God is weaving together for your life. But now, you are being called to go deeper, to reflect on the journey you have walked thus far, and to recognize how it has prepared you for the season ahead. Your spiritual growth is not random, nor is it incidental. It is the direct result of God's divine hand at work in your life, shaping you, refining you, and melding you into the person he created you to be. Sometimes, it may feel like the trials you have endured were unnecessary or unfair, but in the context of God's larger plan, each experience has been a tool in his hands. What may have felt like setbacks were actually stepping stones, guiding you closer to your purpose. One of the most profound aspects of this journey is the way in which your challenges have prepared you for greater responsibility and deeper intimacy with God. If you reflect on some of your most difficult moments, you may notice a pattern. Each challenge has revealed something within you that needed to be refined, something that God was calling you to release, or an area where He was inviting you to trust Him more fully. These challenges were not intended to break you, but to build you. Through them, God has been teaching you perseverance, resilience, and the importance of remaining steadfast in faith, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. God often uses trials to test and strengthen the faith of those He has chosen. In James 1:3-4, we are reminded that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. This passage underscores the fact that God is not just interested in giving you a smooth journey. He is deeply invested in your spiritual maturity. He is preparing you not just to receive His promises, but to walk in them with wisdom, strength, and the unwavering confidence that comes from a deep relationship with Him. As you reflect on your journey, consider the ways in which God has been calling you to deepen your trust in Him. Trust is the cornerstone of your spiritual walk. Without trust, it is impossible to fully surrender to God's will and to embrace the life He has prepared for you. Trust requires a willingness to let go of your own plans and to lean into God's timing, even when it doesn't align with your expectations. This level of trust doesn't come easily. It is forged in the fire of uncertainty, cultivated through moments when you had to rely on God because there was no other option. This journey of trust also teaches you humility. Humility is recognizing that you don't have all the answers, that you can't control every outcome, and that you are dependent on God for guidance, provision, and strength. In today's world, where independence and self-reliance are often celebrated, the act of humbling yourself before God and surrendering control can feel countercultural. But chosen ones, it is precisely this humility that positions you to receive God's greatest blessings. When you empty yourself of pride and self-sufficiency, you create space for God to work in ways that are far beyond what you could ask or imagine. As you prepare for what lies ahead, consider also how God has been cultivating within you a deeper sense of purpose. Your calling is not just about what you will achieve, it is about who you are becoming in the process. God is far more concerned with your character than with your accomplishments. In fact, your greatest life, the one God has planned for you, is not measured by worldly success, but by the depth of your relationship with Him and the impact you make on the lives of others. This journey is about more than just receiving. It's about becoming a vessel through which God's love, grace, and truth can flow to the world around you. This perspective shift is essential as you continue on your spiritual path. So often, we get caught up in the idea that our journey with God is about reaching a certain destination or achieving a specific goal. But in reality, the journey itself is where the transformation happens. Every step you take, every lesson you learn, is part of the process through which God is shaping you into the person He created you to be. The destination is important, yes, but the journey is where your faith is deepened, your character is refined, and your purpose is revealed. God is inviting you to see the bigger picture, to understand that what He is doing in your life is not just about you. Your journey is intertwined with the lives of others. The experiences you've walked through, the wisdom you've gained, and the faith you've developed are not just for your benefit. They are meant to bless and encourage those around you. As you continue to grow in your relationship with God, He will use you as a light, a source of hope and inspiration for others who are walking through their own struggles. You are not just called to live for yourself, but to be a reflection of God's love and truth to the world. This understanding brings a new dimension to your preparation. As you step into the life God has prepared for you, recognize that your journey is not isolated. Every experience you've had, every trial you've faced, has been preparing you not only to receive God's blessings, but to share them with others. This is part of the divine plan that God has for you, to be a living testament of His goodness, grace, and faithfulness. As you reflect on these truths, consider how God is calling you to use the lessons you've learned to impact the world around you. The journey you are on, chosen ones, is one of profound significance. You are being prepared not just for personal growth, but for divine purpose. Every challenge, every victory, every moment of waiting has been preparing you for something greater. And as you continue on this path, trust that God is with you, guiding you, and equipping you for the life He has destined for you. As we continue on this sacred journey together, chosen ones, there's a palpable anticipation in the air. You've come this far, exploring the depths of your spiritual path, reflecting on the challenges you've faced, and recognizing the divine hand that has been guiding you all along. But here you are, on the verge of something greater. That feeling deep in your spirit, the one that keeps telling you that your greatest life is about to begin, is not just wishful thinking. It's a divine nudge, a signal that you are standing at the edge of a breakthrough. Yet, despite the excitement, there might still be lingering questions in your heart. How will you know when it's time to step fully into the life that God has prepared for you? What if you miss the signs? What if you're not ready, or worse, what if you step too soon? These are the doubts that often creep into our minds when we stand on the threshold of a new season. But chosen ones, these doubts are not meant to paralyze you. They are a signal that God is calling you into deeper trust and faith. Think back to all the moments in your life where you felt uncertain, where the path ahead was unclear. How often have those moments been the very times when God was working behind the scenes, orchestrating something far greater than you could have imagined? God's ways are often mysterious, but His timing is always perfect. He does not call us to a new season without first equipping us, even when we don't feel prepared. In those moments of uncertainty, God is inviting you to trust Him more deeply, to surrender your fears, and embrace the unfolding of His divine plan. But what are the signs? How will you know when it's truly time for your greatest life to begin? Chosen ones, this is where the tension lies. We often look for tangible signs in the physical world, a door to open, a sudden change in circumstances, or a clear signal from God. And while these signs may come, sometimes the greatest indicator that you are ready is not external, but internal. It's the shift in your spirit, the quiet knowing that God has been preparing you all along, even in ways you might not have seen. It's the sense of peace that comes even in the midst of uncertainty, knowing that God is with you and has equipped you for this moment. As you reflect on your journey thus far, you might still feel some tension between the promise of what's to come and the reality of where you are now. You may wonder if you've done enough, if you've prayed enough, if you've prepared enough. But chosen ones, the beauty of God's grace is that it is not dependent on your perfection. It is dependent on your faith, your willingness to trust, and your openness to receive what He has already set aside for you. Now, as we build toward the main message, ask yourself this: what if everything that has happened up until this point has been precisely what you needed to prepare you for what's next? What if the struggles you've faced were not obstacles but stepping stones designed to strengthen your faith and refine your character? What if the waiting was not a delay but a divine setup, positioning you for something far greater than you could have orchestrated on your own? God's ways often defy human logic, and His timing may not always make sense to us. But chosen ones, your journey is not about understanding every detail. It's about trusting in the one who holds the details in His hands. The signs of your readiness may not come in the form of external changes, but in the quiet confidence that rises within you when you align yourself with God's will. You may still be carrying questions, wondering how everything will unfold. That's the tension we feel as chosen ones, knowing that we are destined for something great, but not always seeing the full picture. But it's in this tension that God does His best work. It's in the space between what you know and what you don't yet know, that God is inviting you to take a step of faith. So, how do you move forward when the path still feels uncertain? How do you prepare for a season that promises greatness, even when you can't yet see the fullness of what's to come? Chosen ones, the key lies in your faithful obedience. God is not asking you to know every detail. He is asking you to trust Him enough to take the next step, even when the full picture hasn't yet been revealed. Now, as we stand on the edge of this moment, it's time to explore the deeper truths that will unlock the next phase of your journey. What you are about to receive will bring clarity and resolution to the lingering questions in your heart. As we step into the main message, let's look back for a moment and remember the path you've walked. You've been called to trust God's timing, to see the trials and challenges in your life as preparation for something greater, and to let go of the need for control as you surrender to His will. You've come to understand that the waiting isn't a punishment, but a divine invitation to grow deeper in your faith and more aligned with God's purpose for your life. But what if there's something even deeper that God has been trying to show you all along? What if the breakthrough you've been waiting for has less to do with external circumstances and more to do with the internal shift that's happening within you? What if your greatest life is not defined by what you achieve, but by who you become in the process? The revelation we are about to uncover will bring clarity to these questions and illuminate the path forward. But chosen ones, it requires you to be ready, to open your heart fully to what God is about to reveal. The tension you feel is a sign that God is preparing you for something extraordinary. It's a reminder that you are on the verge of stepping into a life that has been divinely orchestrated for you, a life that will not only bring you fulfillment, but will also glorify God in ways you cannot yet comprehend. In this moment, I want you to hold on to the anticipation. The best is yet to come. And as you prepare for the main message, know that God has been preparing your heart, your mind, and your spirit for what is about to unfold. Think about where you are right now, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. You've come a long way. You've endured trials, you've grown through challenges, and you've remained faithful, even when it would have been easier to give up. And here you are, standing at the edge of your greatest life. But what does that truly mean? The message I bring to you today is this: your greatest life is not just about what you will achieve, it's about what God is calling you to release. Think about that for a moment. So often, we focus on the things we want to gain, the blessings, the breakthroughs, the accomplishments, but chosen ones, God is calling you to something deeper. Before you can step into the fullness of your greatest life, there are things you must release. And I'm not just talking about external things, habits, relationships, or circumstances. I'm talking about the things you've been holding on to internally. It might be fear. It might be doubt. It might be the belief that you're not enough, or that you're too flawed for God to use. It might be the desire to control every outcome, or the need for everything to go according to your plan. Whatever it is, these are the things that are holding you back from stepping fully into the life God has prepared for you. God is calling you to release the weight of these burdens so that you can walk freely into your destiny. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." The race marked out for you is one of divine purpose, but you cannot run it while carrying the weight of fear, doubt, or control. Releasing these burdens requires faith. It requires a deep trust in God's goodness, even when you can't see the full picture. It requires you to believe that God's plans for your life are greater than anything you could plan for yourself. And it requires you to surrender, not just in the big things, but in the small, daily decisions where you choose to trust God over your own understanding. As you release what's been holding you back, something incredible happens. You make space for God to move in your life in ways you've never imagined. You open yourself up to the fullness of His blessings, to the abundance of His provision, and to the joy of walking in alignment with His will. Chosen ones, this is the key to stepping into your greatest life. It's not about striving or achieving more. It's about surrendering more. It's about letting go of the things that are hindering you so that you can fully embrace the life God has been preparing for you all along. You see, the enemy would have you believe that you need to do more, to achieve more, to be more. But God is saying, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. He is calling you to rest in His promises, to trust that He has already equipped you for the journey ahead. As you take this next step, know that you are not walking alone. God is with you, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the season of abundance that lies ahead. The greatest life that God has prepared for you is not just about what you will do, it's about who you will become as you walk in alignment with His will. This is your moment. This is your time. Step forward with boldness, chosen ones, knowing that God has gone before you and that His plans for your life are far greater than anything you could imagine. Let go of what's been holding you back and step into the fullness of the life God has prepared for you. Your greatest life is beginning now. As you stand at the threshold of this new season, chosen ones, the path forward is illuminated not by the clarity of the world, but by the light of God's truth. It's essential to recognize that this journey you're on is not just about what you will receive, but about how you will grow, who you will become, and how your life will reflect the glory of God. You've been invited to step into your greatest life, but this isn't a passive call. It's a divine challenge to actively pursue your highest potential in alignment with God's plan. The message you've received today is one that calls for reflection and action. Now is the time to embrace the lessons of your journey thus far and recognize how God has been preparing you for this moment. The trials you've faced were never meant to break you, but to refine you. The waiting periods were never wasted. They were times when God was cultivating within you the resilience and faith necessary to carry the weight of your calling. And now, with the path laid before you, the question becomes, how will you step into this next chapter? How will you walk the path that God has prepared? The answer lies in your willingness to trust. Trust not only in God's timing, but also in His process. Trust that everything you've gone through has been for a reason. Trust that the same God who has walked with you through your darkest valleys will be the one to lead you into your greatest triumphs. But trust isn't passive. It requires action. It requires you to take bold steps of faith, even when you don't have all the answers. It means moving forward with confidence, knowing that God's plans are greater than your own and that His ways are higher than anything you could have imagined. But there's more to this journey than just trust. As you move forward, God is also calling you to surrender. This might seem counterintuitive, especially in a world that tells us to hold on, to control, and to strive for more. But chosen ones, the greatest victories in your life will not come from striving. They will come from surrendering. Surrendering your plans, your fears, your doubts, and even your understanding of how things should unfold. In doing so, you make room for God to move in ways that far surpass your own abilities. You make space for His will to take precedence over your own, and in that space, miracles happen. The path forward also requires discernment. As you step into this new season, not every opportunity that presents itself will be from God. The enemy is crafty, and he often uses distraction and confusion to pull you away from your purpose. That's why it's crucial to stay connected to God in prayer, to immerse yourself in His Word, and to seek His guidance in every decision. James 1:5 tells us that if we lack wisdom, we should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault. This is your time to lean into that wisdom, to seek God's will in everything you do, and to trust that He will make your path clear. But perhaps one of the most important aspects of the path forward is the recognition that you are not walking this journey alone. God has placed people in your life, whether they are friends, mentors, or spiritual guides, to support you, to pray for you, and to walk with you through every season. Your journey as a chosen one is not a solitary one. It is one that is deeply intertwined with the lives of others. As iron sharpens iron, so too will you be sharpened by those who walk this path with you. This season is one of purpose. You are stepping into a life that has been prepared for you since the beginning of time, a life that is filled with meaning, impact, and spiritual fulfillment. But with great purpose comes great responsibility. As you move forward, it's important to remember that your greatest life is not just about what you will receive, it's about what you will give. God has placed a unique calling on your life, one that will touch the lives of others in ways you may never fully comprehend. Your journey, your story, your growth, they are all part of a larger plan that God is weaving together, a plan that will bring His love and truth to the world through you. So, chosen ones, as you take the next step, do so with confidence. Do so with the knowledge that God has already gone before you, that He is with you in every moment, and that His plans for your life are far greater than anything you could imagine. The road ahead may have its challenges, but you have been equipped for this. Every lesson you've learned, every trial you've overcome has prepared you for the season you are stepping into now. Trust in God, surrender to His will, and walk boldly into the life He has set before you. This is your time. Your greatest life is beginning now. But it's not just about where you're going, it's about who you're becoming. God is shaping you, melding you, and preparing you for something far beyond what you can see right now. Keep your heart open, your faith strong, and your eyes fixed on Him, and watch as He brings His promises to fruition in your life. As you reflect on this message, I encourage you to stay connected to the community of chosen ones. Surround yourself with people who will uplift you, who will encourage you, and who will walk with you on this journey of faith. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will see the fullness of God's promises come to pass in our lives. So take heart, chosen ones, and move forward with the confidence that your greatest life is beginning now. As we come to the close of this message, chosen ones, I want to remind you of the incredible journey you are on. The path you are walking is one of divine purpose, and every step you take is leading you closer to the life that God has prepared for you. But remember, this journey is not meant to be walked alone. We are a community, a family of believers, and together we will see God's promises fulfilled in our lives. If this message has resonated with you, I encourage you to take action. Subscribe to the channel, engage with this community, and share this message with others who need to hear it. By doing so, you're not just supporting the mission of spreading God's word, you're becoming an active part of the Kingdom Calls family. Your journey is important, and we want to walk it with you. Chosen ones, your greatest life is beginning now. Step forward in faith, stay connected to God, and know that together we will see His promises come to pass. Thank you for being part of this journey, and may God continue to bless you abundantly as you move forward in His purpose. If this message touched your heart and you'd like to support the Chosen Ones community, consider donating to our Patreon. Your contribution helps us continue to create spiritually enriching content for you and others on the sacred path. Every donation, no matter the amount, allows us to spread God's word and reach those who need encouragement and guidance. Together, we are building a community of faith, hope, and transformation. By supporting us, you're not just giving financially, you're helping to bring more souls closer to their divine purpose. Thank you for walking this journey with us.